Hey guys, it's Brandon Edens again. This week, the discussion for this particular assignment is talking about empowerment, and we're discussing people that have empowered us throughout either our career or our lives. Um, the specific person that I'm going to speak about today is actually one of my very close friends now. We didn't always start out. I mean, we didn't start out as friends, obviously, whenever I first met the guy. I kind of thought at first he was a little bit cocky, and I mean, it was just kind of his confidence that he walked into the shop. He's one of my good friends that I met in the Marine Corps. So my time in the Marine Corps, I spent the majority of my time in Yuma, Arizona, on Marine Corps Air Station, Yuma. I was a aviation ordnance systems technician, which I've spoken about it before, kind of in my introduction and stuff. Basically, I worked with weapon systems on the Marine Corps aircraft, and I also built explosives for those aircraft to shoot during training missions and in live combat. So the person that I'm going to speak about, his name is Matthew Sheehan, or Sergeant Sheehan at the time. Corporal Sheehan when I first met him, but Sergeant Sheehan whenever he ended his career. He became one of my really good friends after we had served on the same deployment together. We were on the 31st MEU together, but when I first met him, whenever I first met him, like I said, I thought he was really cocky, but overall, I come to find out that it was just because of his confidence and his knowledge and his ability to lead. That's what drew me to becoming friends with him and learning from him. The specific empowerment step that I'm going to speak about is the delegating authority and impact opportunities, not just more work. That's something that he did very well. So at the time that I started working with him, he was basically it's called a quality assurance safety observer, and in the kind of hierarchy of my occupational specialty, it goes team members. So team members are kind of like the worker bees, and then the team leaders. So you got team members and then team leaders. The team leaders are more of like the managerial bees. They kind of oversee the work being done. And then the quality assurance safety observer is the person standing back, kind of evaluating the entire build to make sure that A, the team leaders are doing what they're supposed to do, and B, that nobody's getting hurt. So whenever he brought me on into building and constructing live munitions, I had a little bit of experience, but not a ton. So, I mean, I credit most of what I know about building munitions to him. And that was because he put me in certain situations, not just to read out of a textbook or read out of a book to learn, but he put me in certain situations where I was the managerial bee. I was the team leader. At the time, I didn't necessarily have my team leader qualification, but he was comfortable enough that I knew how to lead people and how to kind of organize things. So he empowered me to actually lead Marines, and that became one of my favorite things to do. It still is today. I love leading people. I actually, whenever I actually stopped being a reservist, not that long ago. I told one of my reservist junior Marines, I told him, I said, man, I'm really going to miss this. And he said, what's that, Sergeant? And I said, leading Marines. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I credit that to Matthew. Matthew's still to this day, I call him all the time, and we talk about the old days and things like that. But he empowered me to become a better leader. It's something that I carry in my job today. I'm not necessarily a leader in my job per se, as far as like titles go, because you kind of have to have a little bit more time in the industry than I do. But any opportunity that I get, I think about whenever Matt, let me lead from the front and get in there, and he would even pull me into the classroom whenever he was given a class. He would ask me specific questions and have me tell, the rest of the Marines and kind of teach the class myself. Even though he knew the answers, he was very, very good at letting the Marines teach Marines. Even though he was a higher rank, he always told me that it sounded better coming from a lower ranking person, because he goes, they're always going to see my chevrons and not listen to me. He goes, and that's just kind of how it is in the Marine Corps. If you've ever been in the military, you understand. But since I was a lower ranking person, he goes, they're going to listen better to you. And he goes, I always knew that. So that's why I've picked some people to kind of lead classes and do things, and he put me in a position where, it felt great. People admired me and people listened to me and they loved learning, and I loved teaching. So, I do credit him a lot to my developed leadership skills. And I don't know. I just don't know what else to say. But I really do thank Matt for that. And he's the one that I can kind of credit to empowering me to be the leader that I am today. Thanks.